This video is sponsored by TP-Link.
If you've been shopping for routers lately, you have probably seen Wi-Fi 7 plastered everywhere. And you're probably thinking, wait a second, didn't we just get Wi-Fi 6? And then didn't we just also get Wi-Fi 6E? Is this actually any different, or is this just marketing hype to get more money out of me? This is the TP-Link Deco BE63, and it promises to fix not only your lag, but also boost your speeds using 3 new superpowers, so to speak. But to understand if it's worth your money, you have to kind of stop thinking about everything as gigahertz and start thinking about things like traffic. Think of your old Wi-Fi like driving a car to work. You have to pick one road, and if that road has any sort of traffic, you pretty much get stuck. That's essentially lag. Now, Wi-Fi 7 introduces something that's called MLO. Imagine if you're driving a car, you could drive that car on 2 different highways at the same exact time. If one highway has traffic, you just instantly keep moving onto the other one, so you never really actually stop. It also takes those lanes on that highway and makes them twice as wide. So massive trucks like 4K Netflix streams or 100 gigabyte game downloads can fly through without blocking anyone. And finally, it packs those trucks even tighter. Imagine playing Tetris with the boxes in a delivery truck so that you can fit 20% more stuff, aka data, in the same exact space. That, in a nutshell, is Wi-Fi 7. Now, it sounds amazing on paper, but there is a catch. Most of these features, like that 2-way highway traffic thing that I mentioned, those are actually turned off by default on the router. And if you turn them on the wrong way, well, you might actually break something in your smart home. So today I'm going to be showing you how to set this up the right way. And also, I'm going to do a couple of speed tests throughout my house, especially some of the thickest parts of my home. And finally, I'm going to help you decide whether or not the Deco BE63 is the future-proof upgrade that you need, or if you should just, well, stick with Wi-Fi 6. First, let's talk about the hardware, because honestly, this is where TP-Link is kind of killing the competition. If you just look at other Wi-Fi 7 options that are out there, like the Netgear Orbi, they're massive. They look like giant statues in the living room. The BE63 is surprisingly small, and it looks like a nice little speaker, and it's just easy to hide because of that. Also, there are a ton of features that are packed into the small form factor, like TP-Link Home Shield, VPN client and server support, and even voice control with Alexa or Google. But the real story is on the back. This is what I call port love. I mean, just look at that. You're talking about 4 ports that are here, and all 4 of them are 2.5 gigabit ports. Now, what does that mean? Well, most routers at this point, they give you essentially 1 fast port, and the rest are a standard 1 gigabit ports, which they aren't bad, but it makes a huge impact. It especially matters if you are paying for fiber internet, like 2 gig or 5 gig fiber. That means that you can actually use it with these routers. And if you have a home server or a NAS set up for any reason, you can wire it directly for massive transfer speeds. It's honestly really rare to see a 4 multi-gig port on a unit this cheap on each router in the mesh network. Honestly, that feature alone makes this worth the price of admission for me personally. Now, hardware is essentially useless if the software is confusing or just outright sucks. So let's talk about the setup and that huge catch that I mentioned earlier. Now, TP-Link setup is arguably one of the easiest in the industry. You literally just plug it in, the app finds it, and you're done in about 5 minutes. And if you already have a TP-Link system in your home and you want to upgrade to this, you can literally just back up your configuration into the cloud and install that network configuration right on your new router. So it's even faster and easier to set up than before. But once you are set up, you need to go into the settings, and you will see that toggle for the MLO network. Now, obviously, the instinct is to just turn it on, but do not do that. And here's why. The Wi-Fi 7 requires the latest security encryption called WPA3. Now, your iPhone knows exactly what that is. My PC that I'm recording on right here knows exactly what that is. But your smart lights, your old printer, that cheap security camera that you bought 3 years ago, yeah, none of those know what WPA3 is. So if you force your main network to use MLO straight from the get-go, half of your smart home devices will instantly be disconnected, and they won't be able to get back on. So here's what I recommend you do if you still want to take advantage of the speed of the router. You're going to run 2 separate networks. Keep your home network normal. Use this for standard things, kind of like your TV, your lights, or if a guest comes to visit and stay in the guest bedroom, this is the network that they're going to use for that. Then go into the MLO network settings and create a dedicated fast lane. Call it whatever you want, the gaming fast lane or something cool, it doesn't matter. Just this is for connecting your gaming PC, your PS5 Pro, and your new phone to that one. This way you can take advantage of those blazing fast Wi-Fi 7 speeds without breaking the smart bulb in your kitchen. I don't have a smart bulb in my kitchen, but okay, enough talk. Let's look at the numbers. I have the Deco set up in my home's den, and that's on the 2nd floor. And while I don't have fiber, I do have a pretty decent broadband connection from Spectrum. I get the max 600 megabits down and 20 megabits up. Here I am standing 5 inches away from the router. This is the best case scenario, so to speak. And boom, look at that needle fly. We're maxing out the connection, easy 600 megabits on Wi-Fi, and that is much more consistent than what I was getting a few months ago. Obviously, having gigabit or fiber does make a huge impact in terms of performance because it would give us better performance, but even this is a nice to have because of that consistency that's there. Now, let's do a little bit of a torture test. This is the furthest bedroom in my house, and it goes through 2 walls and a closet. Usually 5 gigahertz truly struggles here, and 6 gigahertz, I mean, it usually just dies completely because it hates going through any sort of walls. But remember, we got the MLO thing going on, that 2-highway trick. So because my phone is connected to both bands, it can use the lower frequency to punch through the wall and then the higher frequency to carry the data. Now, we're still pulling 600 to 700 megabits per second, and that's essentially 4K streaming without any issues at all in the dead zone in my house. That alone was pretty impressive. I also tried this on the other side of the house on a different floor from the main router in a corner, and it was getting solid speeds. All of this is thanks to that AI-driven seamless roaming that you can do on this mesh network. I also tested it out in a closet just to see how it would come out as well, and I was getting decent speeds there as well. Now, for the gamers, we care about one thing: latency. Here we have the latest Call of Duty Zombies with other players, and despite my horrible gameplay, I'm still getting as low as 10 milliseconds in terms of latency. Still, the connection that's here on the Asus ROG Ally X on this Wi-Fi network is pretty impressive. Now, in Wi-Fi 6, you get these little spikes from time to time, usually when someone else in the house starts watching Netflix. On the Deco BE63 with MLO, it's just flat. It's consistent. And if interference hits one of the bands, the router just instantly shifts the packet from one band to the other. So it almost feels like it's wired. Is it better than Ethernet cable? No, obviously physics are physics. There's nothing that can beat a wired PC when it comes to speed. But if you have to play on Wi-Fi, this is the first time where I kind of feel confident playing online matches without a wire. Now, if you're planning on playing games that are streamed from your PC to your Steam Deck or any other PC handheld or retro handheld using Moonlight, then yeah, this will give you the speeds to lower down that latency and input lag to an almost seamless experience. So the verdict? The TP-Link Deco BE63 comes in at around $369 on Amazon at the time of this recording because of Black Friday. And I know that is not cheap, especially in this economy. But compared to the Orbi 770, which is currently almost double the price, or the Eero Pro 7, I feel like this is the sweet spot between price and performance, and you still have the benefits of Wi-Fi 7. Now, who should buy this? If you have internet speeds over 1 gigabit, you need this for the ports. If you live in a crowded apartment building or just a crowded neighborhood, you need to get this to get away from your neighbor's interference. And if you want to just buy a router and not have to think about upgrading for the next 5 years, this is the one. But if you have a standard 300 megabit plan and you still have an iPhone 13, don't even bother. You literally cannot use the speeds this thing provides. Save your money and get yourself a Wi-Fi 6E system instead. I will leave a link down below so that you can go ahead and check out the current pricing on this thing. Let me know in the comments whether you think this Wi-Fi speed and the lack of latency is good enough to actually say, hey, maybe I can play on Wi-Fi, or if you're part of that Ethernet or die crowd. Now, if you want to see my review of the Xbox Ally and Ally X, then click this over here. And thanks for watching, guys. I will see you on the next one. Peace.